Our gospel reading for today tells the story of a group of men who are searching for Christ. And it occurs to me that their story is our story. Their search is our search. I think there is a very real sense in which all people everywhere are searching for Christ. The men in our story found what they are looking for. They apparently traveled a long way and they got sidetracked at least once, but finally they got there. Our reading says they found the child with Mary, his mother. An interesting thing to me about their search is that it started in a far-off land, but reached a successful conclusion somewhere in a little village of Bethlehem. There is a truth in that for you and me. We may search for Christ in the starry heavens, and if we have eyes to see, we will catch glimpses of him there. But if we are ever really to find Christ and to see him face to face, it will be here on earth, right in the thick of life. During the days of his public ministry, he could be found in all sorts of places. Sometimes in the temple, sometimes in the synagogue, sometimes in the temple, sometimes at parties and banquets. But the place where Jesus could most often be found was with people who needed him. Some of them were sick. Some were hungry. Some were sad. Some were lost in sin. Some of them were just plain lonely. One day the Pharisees criticized him for places where he went and the kinds of people with whom he spent so much time. He explained by saying, people who are in good health don't need a doctor. Sick people do. And that's how he saw himself, a doctor, not just of the body, but of the whole person. He was a helper. He was a healer. And as such, he had a deep commitment to be with the people who needed him. That is where he most often could be found. Find the people who are hurting, and you would probably find him somewhere nearby. The wise men found him with Mary, his mother, for the obvious reason that he was a little child and he needed her. But when he grew to manhood, he could usually be found with the people who needed him. And it occurs to me that that still might be the most logical place to search for him today. On a Sunday in Advent, there was a pastor who preached a sermon about the strange way we celebrate Christmas. We call it the birthday but we exchange gifts among ourselves. He suggested that it would be more appropriate if we would give something to Jesus on his birthday. But he conceded that this probably would be very difficult because no one knew his address. He ended the sermon by telling the people that he had learned where Jesus was and where he lived and would tell them next week his address. Well, the next Sunday the church was packed. The church was packed and the pastor stood in the pulpit with a stack of more than 1,000 cards. Each contained the name and address of a needy family. Some of them needed food. Some needed clothing, some needed transportation, but all of them needed something. One by one, he distributed the cards to the people. And then he said, now you know where Jesus lives. This year you can give a birthday present to him. Like the wise men of old, all of us are searching for Christ. And where can we find him? Not out there among the stars. No. But right here in the thick of life. And the most logical place to look is among the people who need him most. All of you who are homebound, Jesus is with you. And that's why we come to you. Through the generosity and the kindness of all the wonderful people here at Television Channel 8, we come to you every Sunday morning to share the liturgy with you and to share our words with you because we know we are giving them to Jesus because Jesus is there with you. And so on this Feast of the Epiphany, the three magi found Jesus in a crib in Bethlehem. And you and I, we find Jesus with you. Pray for us. Keep praying for us in the church so that we might continue to grow, that we might continue to become the kingdom that Jesus came to establish. God bless you all. Have a great, blessed, and happy New Year.